You know the scenario. It is arguably the most frustrating position to be in as a marketer or even just as a business owner trying to handle your own stuff.
Hmm.
You've done the work. You got the verification postcard in the mail. You entered the code. You filled out the hours. You uploaded the logo. You wrote a nice little description.
The checklist is complete.
Yeah,
You have dotted every I and crossed every T.
right. The box is checked. You sit back, ready for the phone to ring.
Hmm.
But then, crickets.
Absolute silence.
You search for your primary keyword, let's say plumber in Chicago, and you're nowhere near the map pack. You're stuck in that view-all purgatory where businesses go to die.
Right.
But the guy ranking #1, the guy taking all your customers, he has a blurry photo of the side of a dirty van, no website linked, and he hasn't posted an update since 2019.
And that is usually when the laptop gets thrown out the window. It defies all logic.
It feels personal. It feels like the algorithm is broken or rigged. But today, we're diving into a source, a really interesting internal strategy document that argues the exact opposite.
Uh-huh.
It argues that the algorithm isn't broken, it's just extremely literal. We're looking at a strategy guide for a course called Complete Optimization of a Google Business Profile.
And the core thesis here is going to sting a little for the perfectionists listening,
It might.
because it suggests that effort and optimization are not the same thing. You can work very hard and still be optimized very, very poorly.
They use this concept, structural incompleteness.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this deep dive is specifically for the agency owners, the technical marketers, the learners who are tired of hearing generic advice like, just get more reviews.
Right.
We're going to unpack the actual mechanics of why a profile fails to rank, even when it looks full to the naked eye.
And we should clarify immediately, this isn't about hacks. The source material is explicitly anti-fluff.
Yes.
If you're looking for a way to trick Google into thinking you're in a city you aren't in, or how to stuff keywords into your business name without getting suspended, this isn't that.
Not at all.
This is about architectural integrity.
Architectural integrity.
Yeah.
I like that. So let's start with this aha moment from the source document. It claims that most profiles underperform because the data fields are technically valid but strategically wrong. That sounds like a contradiction. How can something be valid but wrong?
Think of it like a language translation issue. You can translate a sentence word for word into another language and it will be technically correct.
Sure.
The words exist in the dictionary. But a native speaker will look at it and have no idea what you're actually trying to say because the context is gone. The nuance is lost.
And Google's algorithm is that native speaker.
Precisely. The source uses the example of categories to explain this. This is like the most common failure point. A business owner sees a category that describes what they do, so they click it.
Yeah, I do this, so I select this.
It feels logical.
Logical to a human.
Eh.
But to the algorithm, every category carries a specific set of relevance signals. Let's say you're a high-end landscaping architect. You design estates. You do six-figure projects.
But you select gardener as a secondary category because, well, you work with plants, right?
You want to cast a wide net. You don't want to miss the person searching for gardener.
And that is the trap. By selecting gardener, you've just told Google that you belong in the same bucket as the teenager mowing lawns for $20. You've diluted your signal.
Oh, wow.
You aren't structurally optimized for landscape architect anymore. You are now a confused hybrid entity. The source calls this category dilution.
So by trying to be everything, you end up ranking for nothing. You're effectively lowering your own average.
You become noise to the algorithm. The source emphasizes that structural completeness isn't about filling every blank space. It's about filling the right spaces to tell a coherent story.
Right.
If your primary category says pizza restaurant, but your services list includes catering, event planning, and cooking classes, and your description talks about family heritage without mentioning ingredients, well, Google struggles to categorize you for the intent of hot pizza near me.
That's a huge shift in mindset. We're trained to think more is better. More keywords, more categories, more data. But this framework argues that precision is better.
Precision is trust, and Google trades in trust. If Google serves a gardener result to someone looking for an architect, Google loses trust with the user.
Ah, okay.
So if your structure signals confusion, Google buries you to protect its own reputation. It doesn't hate you, it just doesn't understand you.
Now, this leads us directly into a massive topic that I know a lot of our listeners, especially the agency owners, are going to have strong feelings about. The source document has a section explicitly titled, The HighLevel Reality Check.
Yeah, this is the elephant in the room for modern agencies. It's a tension that usually doesn't get talked about this openly.
For those who don't know, HighLevel or Go HighLevel is this massive all-in-one platform. It handles CRM, email, landing pages, text message automation, and yes, it integrates with Google Business Profiles.
Right. The pitch is usually never leave the dashboard, manage everything from here, scale your agency.
Which is a fantastic pitch for efficiency. If you're managing 50 clients, you don't want to log in and out of 50 different Google accounts. It's a logistical nightmare.
Exactly. But the source material throws a massive wrench in the gears here. It says HighLevel is an execution layer, not a substitute.
Okay,
It actually warns that relying on it 100% can hurt your ranking ability.
so what are they getting at? Is the API broken?
It's not that it's broken, it's that it's strictly limited. And this is a technical nuance that burns a lot of agencies.
Mhm.
The Google Business Profile API, the pipe that connects HighLevel, or any third-party tool really, to Google, does not support every single feature that exists on the native Google platform.
Okay, but are we talking about obscure features or stuff that actually matters? Because if it's just like the ability to change the font color on a post, who cares?
We are talking about critical relevance signals. The source highlights that there are what it calls invisible fields.
Invisible fields.
If you are 100% dependent on your software tool, you literally cannot see these fields. They don't exist in your dashboard. You are flying blind.
Give us a concrete example. What am I missing if I just stay in my CRM?
Attributes are the big one. In HighLevel, you might be able to update your description and your hours, but if you log into Google directly, you see a section for attributes.
Right.
Things like women-led, wheelchair-accessible elevator, happy hour drinks, LGBTQ plus friendly, or specific dining amenities.
And those feel like nice to haves,
Yeah.
like extra flair.
They aren't just flair, not anymore.
Mm.
Think about voice search. Think about detailed queries. If a user searches wheelchair-accessible Italian dinner and your competitor has that attribute checked directly in Google, but you left it blank because your software didn't show it to you?
Guess who ranks?
Yep, the competitor takes the spot.
Even if I am wheelchair accessible.
Exactly. Google doesn't know you are accessible unless you tell it. The source frames this as being platform-aware versus platform-dependent. It's okay to use tools for the heavy lifting posting updates, responding to reviews, that's fine, but you cannot let the tool blind you to the actual architecture of the platform you're building on.
That is frightening. It's like trying to renovate a house, but you're only looking at the blueprints on an iPad that hasn't downloaded the latest updates.
Yes,
While the actual house has a new wing built onto it.
that is a perfect analogy. Google changes its interface constantly. They add new fields, new service options, new dining attributes all the time. Third-party software takes months, sometimes years, to catch up to those API changes.
Wow.
Structural completeness means you are logging into the native interface to catch those gaps.
So the takeaway here for the agency owners is don't fire HighLevel, but don't blindly trust it either. You need a manual audit process.
Correct. The software is for maintenance. The native platform is for optimization. If you confuse the two, you introduce structural weakness. You are leaving points on the table.
Okay, let's get into the tactical meat of this. The source breaks down complete optimization into a few key pillars: categories, services, descriptions, attributes, images, and posts. We touched on categories and the danger of dilution. I want to drill down into services.
This is another area where best practices often backfire.
How so?
Okay.
I thought listing services was straightforward. I do X, so I list X.
Well, the trap here is the difference between custom services and predefined services. When you go into the services section on Google, Google will often suggest a list based on your category.
Like oil change, tire rotation.
Exactly. Those are predefined. They are entities that Google's AI already understands. It knows what an oil change is.
Okay, so those are the safe bets.
Right. But business owners love to be creative. They don't want to just click haircut. They want to add a custom service called the Royal Treatment Deluxe Scalp Experience.
Sounds extensive. I'd buy it.
It does. And for a human reading a menu, it's great marketing. But for the algorithm, it's unstructured text. It's just a string of words. The source emphasizes that you must prioritize the predefined services first. You are explicitly telling Google, I provide entity A and entity B.
You're speaking the bot's language again.
Yes. Custom services are fine for adding flavor after you have established the facts. But if your entire service menu is custom marketing jargon, you are structurally weak.
You're forcing Google to guess what you do.
Right, rather than confirming it. You want to match the entity Google is looking for.
That aligns with the earlier point about confusion. Confusion is risk. So let's talk about images. The source mentions images as a structural element, not just an aesthetic one.
Mm.
I feel like most people just upload their logo and a picture of the storefront and call it a day.
And that is a huge missed opportunity. The source touches on the idea of visual validation. Google's Vision AI is incredibly powerful now. It can see what is in your photos.
Wait, what?
It identifies objects, colors, text, and context.
Seriously? It's analyzing the content of the image. It's not just looking at the file name.
Absolutely. If you claim to be a pizza restaurant in your category, but every photo you upload is a graphic flyer with text on it, or a picture of your staff standing in an empty room, there is a disconnect.
Okay.
Google wants to see round objects with cheese and pepperoni. It wants to match the visual data to the text data.
So stock photos are a bad idea.
A terrible idea. A stock photo appears on thousands of websites. Google knows it's not unique to you. It signals generic at best and fake at worst.
Oh.
Structural completeness means uploading authentic images that prove you do what you say you do. If you say you fix roofs, show a photo of a ladder against a roof. It's simple, but it builds that truth foundation.
Truth foundation.
I like that term.
It connects back to the idea that we aren't trying to trick the system. We're trying to provide the best possible evidence.
Correct. You are building a legal case for why you should rank #1.
Now, there's one thing this source is very adamant about not being. It says explicitly, this is not a backlink course. This is not off-page SEO. Why make that distinction so aggressively?
Because the SEO industry is obsessed with authority. We are taught that if you want to rank, you need links. You need other websites pointing to you.
And that is true, right? Authority matters.
It is true. Authority matters. But this source argues that authority is a multiplier, not a foundation.
Can you unpack that? Authority is a multiplier.
Imagine your Google business profile is a bucket. Backlinks are the water you pour into the bucket.
All right.
If your bucket has holes in it because of structural incompleteness, conflicting categories, or bad data, it doesn't matter how much water you pour in, it's going to leak out.
Yeah.
You can build 1,000 backlinks to a profile that is categorized wrong, and you still won't rank for the right terms.
So fix the bucket first.
Fix the bucket. Then, and only then, turn on the hose. This course focuses entirely on patching the holes in the bucket.
And for a lot of local businesses.
For many local businesses, if the bucket is tight enough, you don't even need the hose. You can beat a competitor who has high authority but a messy structure.
That gives hope to the little guy. I want to touch on reviews before we move on. The source calls them a supporting signal, not a hack. This feels counterintuitive because everyone screams, reviews are king.
Reviews are king for conversion. If I see a 2-star rating, I'm not calling you.
Right?
But for ranking, for actually showing up in the map pack. They are less powerful than people think if the structure is wrong.
Really? So a 5-star rating isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card?
Think about it. You can have 500 5-star reviews, but if those reviews are all vague, great service. Highly recommend. And your category is set to coffee shop when you are actually a wholesale coffee roaster.
Those reviews won't help you rank for wholesale beans.
Because the relevance isn't there. Exactly. The reviews validate the relevance. They don't create it. You have to tell Google who you are first. The reviews just tell Google you're good at it.
That is a really important distinction. I think a lot of businesses burn themselves out chasing reviews, thinking that's the magic bullet that will fix their visibility, when really they're just invisible with a 5-star rating.
It happens all the time. It's heartbreaking to see good businesses invisible because of bad labeling.
So we've got this framework: structural completeness, platform awareness, visual validation. It's solid advice. But now we have to talk about the business model here, because there's always a catch.
There's always a catch.
This strategy guide is for a free mini course. And in our industry, free usually means 20 minutes of fluff, followed by a hard sales pitch for a $2,000 mastermind.
Yep.
My skeptic alarm goes off immediately.
And the source document actually anticipates that. It has a section titled The Catch, Critical Transparency.
I love that they label it that way.
Yeah.
So what is the honest answer here? Why give away the farm?
The strategy is actually quite clever, and it relies on that same earn trust concept we just talked about with Google.
Okay.
The creator admits they are spending money on ads to give this course away. They are losing money on the front end.
Okay. That's risky.
It is. But the logic is, I am going to give you a complete working module from my advanced course. Not a teaser, a working module.
Right.
If you take it, apply it, and see results, you build trust in the instructor.
It's the Costco sample strategy. Here's a full nugget. If you like it, buy the bag.
Right. But specifically, it's targeted at the learner persona, the skeptic, the person who has been burned by gurus before. The source says, if you find value, you might choose to upgrade. If not, that is completely acceptable.
That is completely acceptable. You don't hear that often in direct response marketing.
No.
Usually it's buy now or stay poor forever.
Right. The fake urgency tactic, this source explicitly rejects that. It aligns the marketing tone with the SEO philosophy. Calm, confident, and evidence-based.
It's basically saying, I'm not going to hype you, I'm going to teach you. And I bet that my teaching is good enough to make you want more.
It treats the audience like adults, which, for agency owners and technical marketers, is the only way to sell. We know how the sausage is made.
We know what a funnel is.
You can't trick a trickster. You have to show them value.
So the only ask in this entire free course is for a review.
Yes. If you get value, leave a review, which again, builds their own social proof. It's a very consistent ecosystem.
It's meta. They're optimizing their own business profile using the same principles they teach.
Exactly.
Before we wrap up, I want to circle back to the central idea of structural incompleteness one last time. Because I think for a lot of people listening, this changes their Monday morning to-do list.
It should. It changes the priority list completely.
So instead of asking, how do I get more reviews or where do I buy backlinks, what should they be asking?
They should be asking, where is the friction?
Where is the friction?
Yes. Go look at your profile. Look at it as if you were a robot that only understands literal connections.
Okay.
Does your primary category match your primary service? Do your photos prove your services exist? Is there a disconnect between what you say you are and what the fields indicate you are?
And check the invisible fields.
Absolutely. This is the most practical step. Log into Google directly, bypass your dashboard for 10 minutes, click on Edit Profile, go to More, look at the attributes, look at the specific service descriptions. I guarantee you 90% of the people listening right now will find a field that is blank simply because they didn't know it existed.
And that blank field represents a leak in your bucket.
A leak that your competitor might have plugged yesterday.
That's the kicker. In a zero-sum game like the map pack, there are only 3 spots. You can't afford leaks.
No. In a low-competition niche, sure, you can be sloppy and still rank. But if you are a personal injury lawyer in Chicago or a plumber in Dallas,
Oh, yeah.
you need every single structural rivet to be tight. The margin for error is 0.
0.
Yep.
This has been a really refreshing look at local SEO.
Yeah.
It's nice to get away from the magic trick mentality and get back to engineering.
It makes the problem solvable. Magic is unpredictable. Engineering is repeatable. If your profile isn't ranking, it's not bad luck. It's bad structure.
You fix the structure, you fix the ranking.
That's it.
I think that's the empowering message here. You aren't at the mercy of the Google gods. You just need to learn to speak their language a little better.
Well said.
So here is the thought I want to leave you with today. We talked about those invisible fields, the data points that your convenient all-in-one software might be hiding from you.
The blind spots.
Exactly. So as you go back to your work, ask yourself this. If you are automating your business profile management through a third-party tool, whether it's HighLevel or anything else, what invisible fields are you leaving blank right now? And more importantly, is the guy ranking #1 above you optimizing those fields by hand while you sleep?
That's the question that keeps you up at night.
Sorry for the paranoia. But hey, knowledge is power. Go check your attributes. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll see you on the next one.